I'm Digital4 and this is part 2 of the tutorial. If you have not yet seen part 1, then go to the link in the description. Now next we want to make it changeable. Let's first go to the shirts again. Now you want to know when the player presses the next button. So we say script.parent.shirt.next. Mouse button one click. Connect finishing. So every time the player presses next for the shirt, the script here will run. So every time the player presses next, you want to go one shirt up. So we'll change the current shirt to current +1. So every time you click, this current value will go +1. But we've only got 2 shirts, and you maybe only have 5 shirts or 10 shirts. So we don't want to go infinitely. So we say if that value is bigger than the number of all shirts, then this value will start back at 1. So we have 2 shirts. So the first time you click, it goes to 2. Then you click again, it goes back to 1. Now next you want to give the player the actual shirt. We can copy this line. Now change this one to the current value. Now if we try this, we get an error. Alright, we made this a string value. Let's change these to an int value. An int value is a number. And name this to current again. Same for pens. Now let's try again. And as you can see, it switches between the shirts. Now we need to program the back button. Let's copy all this. Change these next to previous. Now instead of +1, we want to go -1. And instead of checking if the current value is higher than all the shirts, we want to check if this current value is smaller than 1. And if it's smaller than 1, we're going to go to the highest number of shirts. So, number of all shirts. So this might be a bit confusing. So basically when you click previous, the current shirt will go -1. And if the current value is smaller than 1, so 0, which is impossible, we don't have a shirt 0, then the value goes up to the max number of shirts. So it's the same as this one, but in reverse. So if we go to play, you can see it switches. Now do the same thing for the pants. So we can copy all of this. After where it says shirts, we change it to pants. Now there's an easy way to do this. Press Ctrl F Click on this arrow here and type pants. So with this second button, you can change the word shirt to pants in the entire script automatically. But we don't want to change everything, so press this one. This is placed on one at a time. You can see these are red on the lines. These are one S too many. And the all pants doesn't exist yet. That's this one. So all pants. So now it says pants everywhere. So let's try it out. That's not good. It failed to load. So it does work, but my pants just doesn't work. Like the script works, but the pants code, but the code for the pants doesn't work. So it should work for you. If another player joins now, they will also spawn here, on top of your player. So they will all stack on top of each other here, and it will be a mess. So to prevent that from happening, we need to create a local dummy. You basically need to make a copy of the player that's only visible for the player, not to other players. It sounds a bit complicated, but it's pretty easy. So underneath the character, we say local dummy equals char clone, and we have a dummy. Now everywhere where we used char, we need to replace that with dummy. So you can use this again. Now we want to place all the words. So replace all. Now this one needs to be changed back. So now it should all be changed properly. Go to play. We get an error. Let's see. So the player character has this thing which makes it unable to be copied. If we go to a model, you can see archivable is set to true. When you have a player, it's set to false, so it cannot be copied. So before we make this clone, we have to set it to true first. So char dot archivable equals true. And we need to place a dummy in the workspace. Now if we try again, it doesn't work. Because the UI loads before the player, we need to move this down. It's the same problem as with the camera. So let's move it down here and try again. Yes, now it works. As you can see, now if I go to the workspace, you can see this is a dummy. This is the actual player. So this is a copy of the player, which only I can see. Other players wouldn't be able to see this copy. The screen GUI. We can copy this button. Let's call it finished. Let's resize it. Now go back to the script. And at the bottom, let's enter another comment called finished. Now we want to know when the player presses finished. We go to the button, script.parents, finished, mouse button one click, connect function. So now first you want to copy the clothing of the dummy to the player. So you can say dummy.shirt templates. But let's first do character. So character.shirt template equals dummy.shirt template. So the dummy shirt will be copied on the player shirt. Now we do the same thing for the pants. Next, we want to remove the UI. So you can say script.parent.enabled this equals false. That will turn the UI invisible. Next, we want to restore the camera to normal. To do that, we say camera type equals custom. enum.camera type.custom. That will automatically restore the camera to how it used to be. Go to the screen GUI and make sure reset on spawn is enabled. So when the player dies, they will go back to the customization screen instead of respawning with their own clothes again. Now let's try it out. As you can see, it's working. Now if we reset, we respawn back into the customization screen. However, this is not working. So let's quickly fix the few bugs. So first of the old dummy has to be removed. So you can say dummy destroy. Otherwise, every time you respawn, another dummy spawns. So we don't want that. And next, the buttons didn't work after respawning. So let's see what could be causing that. Let's do a little bit of debugging. I'm going to place a print here. So I place this print to see if this button works at all. So if I go to play and go to next, you can see here it shows. However, if we reset, now press it again, it's still working. Okay, let's try again. Alright, I see. It wasn't working because the old dummy was still in there. So it edited the old dummy instead of the new dummy. So it's working now. Now we can remove this again. And that's it. Alright, now let's test it online. In multiplayer. Let's create a local server with 2 players. Right, so now we have player 2 here and player 1 here. You can see this is changed individually. However, they can't see each other's clothes. It seems we will have to use a remote event to update the clothing. Let's go to the script all the way at the bottom. Now these 2 lines have to be run on the server. Let's create a remote event in this folder. Let's call it update clothing. Now we need to create a server script in server script service. So create a normal script. Let's name it customization. Now in here, we want to fire this event. By firing this event, we can activate a script inside this server script. So here we say game replicate storage customization update clothing. Then we say fire server. Then we can give it some information. When you fire the server, it will automatically get the player who fired it. So we don't need to enter the player here. But we do need the shirt template and the pants template. So we can copy this and paste it in here. And we also want to send the pants data. And we can remove this here. Actually, let's copy this and then remove it. Now we can go to the customization server script. Now we want to activate this script when this remote is called. So we go to game.replicate storage.customization.update. And we say on server event connect function. And here we first have the player, then we have the shirt template and the pants template. So this is the data that we get from the client. And here you can paste the code from the other script. So we don't have the dummy on the server. So we can delete this and replace it with this. Char is right underlined. So we need to tell the script again what the character is. So local char equals player character for player character added. Wait. Let's try this again. As you can see, now we can see the correct clothing. So I just realized we're not done quite yet. If you get a player in your game that is not wearing clothing, the script will crash, because the script assumes you have clothing on. So you have to write an exception. If someone doesn't wear clothing, they will get clothing. So right before we copy the player, we can give them clothing. So first we check if they already have clothing. So if char finds first child shirt, actually make that if not. So if the child does not have a shirt, then instance dot new shirts, comma char. So this will create a shirt in the character. Now do the same thing for the pants. Now when you create a shirt, by default it's called clothing. So we need to change the name to shirt. So you have to put this in a variable. I'll make this local shirt. Then we can say shirt dot name equals shirt. Now do the same thing for the pants. So you can just copy this. And you're done. If you would like to see hair and face customization, then let me know in the comments below. If the video gets enough views, I'll add those options too.